I just didn't understand and just how deep rooted they are in hip hop. And they made us aware of it before, you know, we even found out from other people that there was this expectation on us. They said, hey, I was really onto something there.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, I'm never going to try that one again.
The year 2024.
Hi, Miss Pinkett. You look fantastic.
All right, good to see you. We gotta go. We're blocking traffic.
Oh, we got it. Oh, we're blocking it.
I'm
sorry. What do you say about the allegations? There's like, you know, like so many rumors. Anything you want to say?
We suing.
I know that's right. Thank you, Miss Pinkett.
Yep. So I was at the time I was working the door, and I was just letting anyone that went to NYU come in, and so everyone's underage drinking. And so I have this like huge following of college kids that basically can drink for cheap and don't get ID'd. And I go up at the end of the night and they love me. And so Time Out New York writes an article about me because of this. And then Will Smith's people, David Tochterman specifically, saw the article, and Barry Katz called me up and he's like, they want to see you do stand-up. So
amid the whirlwind of 2024, some shocking allegations have surfaced involving industry figure Diddy, formerly known as P. Diddy or Puff Daddy. Rumors swirl about Diddy's involvement in questionable activities, including reports linking him to disturbing events.
He is praying that Will Smith.
Additionally, there are mentions of actor Will Smith being connected to Diddy and purported revelations about events alleged to have occurred at Diddy's gatherings. And now the rumor is that Will Smith exposes Jada Smith for MPING out Jaden Smith to industry men, selling their child. What a crime! Calling a kid a humper, what type of industry do we live in? So let's dive into this drama unfolding, pulling in some big names like Diddy and the Smiths. You know, Will and Jada Pinkett Smith's son, Jaden Smith, is getting wrapped up in it too.
met Will at I want to say the Hit Factory. I want to remember that's the name, on the Upper West Side. Mm-hmm. He was doing Millennium, and I go in. I remember I brought a camera. My manager's like, "Don't bring a camera. Don't bring a camera. If you want to be his peer, you don't ask to take a picture with him." And I was like, "Okay." So I have no pictures of me and Will ever. Go in. They sit 2 chairs in the middle of a dance studio, facing 2 folding chairs in the middle of a dance studio, facing each other, and they're like, "We'll be in a second." I sat with the chair with my back to the door. I didn't know what door he was coming in. And he walked in behind me and I could feel his energy. I mean, sincerely, like, you know when you say like, "Oh, that guy's got it," the it factor, he's got it. And he's got it all over him. He walks in, gives me a hug. All I remember him saying is "one love." At the time, I don't know if he still says it, but he's saying that to everyone. "One love, one love." Gives me a hug, says "one love," and I was off to the fucking races. I was like, I need this guy to like me, and I love this dude, and I love hip hop, and I am a big hip hop guy. So I just went, and then I was like, and even if he doesn't like me, I'm gonna find out all the questions of the shit I really want to know. So I went.
Thanks to Diddy's influence, he's been caught in some questionable situations, similar to what happened with Usher and Justin Bieber.
Action showing between the general and his son.
Absolutely.
Is it like that at home or no?
Nah,
not
really.
We're
Not
very
really.
affectionate.
Have you ever
We're very affectionate.
He tried to kiss me in the
Have you ever kissed your son on Thai television before?
You're not looking to kiss
Can
my
you kiss
son.
your Thai on Thai
I
television?
can kiss my son. That's Jaden. Come on.
Are you okay?
Oh my God.
Jaden split the beans in an interview, revealing that his mom, Jada Pinkett Smith, was nudging him into these sketchy activities. Talk about a family twist. The Smiths aren't your average crew, and Jaden's been pretty open about the strange vibes he's grown up around.
Met Will at I want to say the Hit Factory. I want to remember that's the name, on the Upper West Side. Mm-hmm. He was doing Millennium, and I go in. I remember I brought a camera. My manager's like, "Don't bring a camera. Don't bring a camera. If you want to be his peer, you don't ask to take a picture with him." And I was like, "Okay." So I have no pictures of me and Will ever. Go in. They sit 2 chairs in the middle of a dance studio, facing 2 folding chairs in the middle of a dance studio, facing each other, and they're like, "We'll be in a second." I sat with the chair with my back to the door. I didn't know what door he was coming in. And he walked in behind me and I could feel his energy. I mean, sincerely, like, you know when you say like, "Oh, that guy's got it," the it factor, he's got it. And he's got it all over him. He walks in, gives me a hug. All I remember him saying is one love. At the time, I don't know if he still says it, but he was saying that to everyone. One love, one love. Gives me a hug, says one love, and I was off to the fucking races. I was like, I need this guy to like me, and I love this dude, and I love hip hop, and I am a big hip hop guy. So I just went, and then I was like, and even if he doesn't like me, I'm gonna find out all the questions of the shit I really want to know. So I like went.
Jada has her ideas about parenting, and she even introduced Jaden to some wild stuff from a young age. Now there's all this buzz about other celebs getting ready to share their stories about Diddy's infamous parties.
Will Smith and Jada tried to pick her up on a threesome and you were gonna beat up Will Smith. Is that true?
You really heard that? Nah.
What? Yeah, I watched it on the internet. You're telling me I can't believe everything I read?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
But what caught everyone off guard were Jaden's accusations against his mom. Family drama at its finest, right? And let's not forget the tangled web of Will and Jada's relationship, with Jada's entanglement and rumors swirling about Will's connections in the industry. It's like a real-life soap opera, with secrets and scandals lurking behind the scenes. With Jaden growing up in the spotlight, it's no wonder he's feeling the heat. The Smiths' family dynamics seem to have everyone talking, and even Will himself has hinted at some regrets about their parenting choices. Buckle up, folks, because there's more drama ahead.
And of course.
Yeah.
Jaden Smith joins his mom, Jada Pinkett Smith, and grandma, Adrienne Banfeld Norris, on Red Table Talk. And they're talking magic mushrooms, people.
But since it's my mom, it's like, it's my mom. We're working together.
On the latest episode of the Facebook Watch series, the fam talks about the plant medicine that some say is a miracle treatment for mental health.
I was introduced to plant medicine 10 years ago to deal with my depression, and it knocked it out.
Something Jada says she can speak to from personal experience.
What it does, unlike just going to therapy and putting people on Prozac, right? Which I did that too.
Which that is not successful for so many people.
And that's the thing. So for me, I had struggled with depression for so long. You know, I mean, crippling depression. So the thing about the plant medicine is that not only does it help you feel better, but it helps you solve the problems of how you got there in the first place.
As for Jaden, he says recent studies that touted mushrooms as one of the most significant advances in treating depression over more traditional antidepressants inspired his use of psychedelics.
It started as pure curiosity.
Yeah.
The 23-year-old added that he started using the drugs out of curiosity, and doing so led to his understanding of what ego was for the first time.
It was always in my head talking, telling me what I was and what I wasn't. And for the first time, I had like a ego dissolution where I was like, that was the moment that really changed me. You get to a place in your life where you're blocked by something, whether it's a trauma, whether it's your emotions, your ego, not being able to express yourself. And then I feel like psychedelics are a way to tear down that wall and see what's beyond it. Doing it guided with people that are professionals, I feel like really increases the chances of having that mystical experience.
Since psychedelics are still illegal, Jaden says it's important to be guided by a professional, which the table agrees is the only way some people can feel safe enough to leave themselves in such a vulnerable position.
You gotta wanna do it. This is not play.
Yeah.
And you gotta be really willing to confront some hard stuff.
Yeah.
And it's very healing, and it's changed my life.
Jada has been open about her struggle with depression in the past. In fact, back in 2018, she opened up about one of the more difficult times in her life during a chat with E.T.
I just felt like I needed more freedom. The public wants you to be a certain way, your family needs you in a certain way, your partner needs you to be something, you know, and for me, that just was never, you know, I'm really a free spirit at heart. I really am, and I always have been. And I just felt like my life had got constricted into this little box. And it was strangling me, basically, you know.
It broke my heart when I heard her talking about it. Really, just that whole period, I had no idea.
Because I really had to figure out a lot of things for myself, and I didn't want to burden anyone.
Of course, the Smiths are no strangers to getting candid and leaving it all out on the table, something the 50-year-old actress told ET is important to her.
It takes practice to have those difficult conversations with kindness and consideration. And it's just something that we have to continue to practice, because if we don't talk about it, we're not gonna get to the other side. We're just gonna, you know, things are just gonna stay in the cracks and fester. So the more that we can bring these difficult subjects to light and talk about it, the more we can purify these subjects and bring them into something new. And so that's why it's important for me.
Rumor has it that Jada Pinkett Smith was making major parenting decisions, and let's say it's causing a stir online. There's talk on social media about what's going on with these Hollywood kids, and people are questioning everything. But here's the real shocker. Jaden reportedly had enough of Jada's parenting style and actually asked his dad to emancipate him at just 15 years old. Can you imagine the turmoil that must have caused in the Smith household? And amidst all this family drama, Jaden's been dropping hints about some disturbing stuff involving Diddy.
What was it like, you know, being raised in this very unconventional lifestyle?
You're not a normal human if you can't go out into the world.
Jada Pinkett Smith getting real with her kids, Jaden and Willow, about growing up in Hollywood on her Facebook Watch series, Red Table Talk.
The Red Table is a place of testimony, you know, and a place where we get to share our stories, share our experiences, and get to really talk and spill our truth in a very raw way.
The family got incredibly candid about life inside what Jada calls the bubble. Both Jaden and Willow said they had no idea anyone grew up differently, even their own parents.
You and Daddy never told us really what type of world you guys came from.
Yeah.
We just thought that you guys just sprouted up out of the ground and just,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
The kids went on to call out their mom and dad for starting them in the industry too young.
What is the part that you think Daddy and I have a difficult time connecting to you with?
I mean, I only have one, like, really terrible experience.
Which is
with my hair.
Jada teared up as she explained that she only pushed them so they could have a better life than she did.
When you become a parent, you have these huge ideals, even for yourself, because we all are coming into parenting with our own childhood traumas, and you can't. Your kids are gonna have their burdens. And even though I see how it might have hurt you, it's what I knew.
Yeah.
And there will be more where that came from. Jada teased a still-to-come appearance by her hubby, Will Smith, when ET visited the Red Table back in April.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Last thing. I promise I'll stop.
Yeah.
What in the world are you going to talk to Will Smith?
Will and I are actually going to have a very interesting conversation about how our journey in regards to transforming a marriage into a life partnership. Yeah. and to even get an understanding of that and understanding more of that, you know, you come to the episode, but it's going to be a really powerful discussion in how my mother and how Willow and Jaden, the whole family has been involved in this transformation. So.
It's like a tangled web of Hollywood secrets, with whispers about Diddy's alleged shady dealings going back years. And if that wasn't enough, rumors are swirling about Diddy's personal life too, with talk of his relationships with younger men making the rounds. It's a lot to take in, especially when you put Jada's free spirit vibes and Jaden's upbringing in the limelight. It's no wonder things got complicated. And now Jaden might have been caught up in some questionable situations involving Diddy.
Of constant gossip and controversy, including that slap at the Oscars. She was sitting right next to Will Smith. And when we met up with Jada in her hometown of Baltimore to talk about her candid new memoir, Worthy, she opened up about an issue that has been kept secret until now.
There are so many surprising things in the book, but the thing that surprised me the most, that I actually had to reread it because I said, is this true?
Right.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
Right.
but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
Yes.
y'all have been apart.
Yeah.
But in public, the couple, who married in 1997, denied the gossip about their marriage. This interview on Bravo's Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen was taped a year after Will and Jada separated.
So how long have you guys been together?
23 years.
Wow. That's amazing. How do you keep it hot?
How do I keep it hot? Maybe I don't know. I mean, I'm baffled, really.
Yeah, right.
Over the next several years, Jada and Will kept up the appearance of a committed married couple. They even faced a scandal when Jada had what she called an entanglement with a family friend. Neither let the public know they had already split.
So I guess my question...
I have so many questions. So do I. I have so many questions.
It was the strangest kind of revelation to realize that these two people have had separate lives. I mean, they have not called each other husband and wife in all of those years.
Except for the appearance everywhere they went.
Except for the appearances, right, including at the Oscars.
Yes.
By the way, there's a whole chunk in this book that we're going to get into in the Dateline special and also a little later here of what happened in that moment when he said, get my wife's name out of your mouth, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's a whole backstory there, too. But Jada is candid and honest in this book. I mean, she's saying things that she's never said, so they've kind of been living this pretend life publicly.
For years.
They knew the secret. They know it.
So now she's telling everyone.
Yeah.
But they're not divorced.
Nope.
So they're
And
separated.
they don't plan on it. They don't plan on getting divorced.
I think a lot of American families can relate, though. I think there's a lot more distance between husbands and wives than anybody ever really talks about.
Yeah.
But this sounds like something.
Yeah, that's a bigger goal.
Yeah, it's a bigger delta.
We have a lot more on this conversation. I was fascinated by her, by the way. First time I'd sat down and spoke with her for a long period of time.
Oh,
You read the book?
I read the book from cover to cover. Yeah, we're going to do a special on NBC News. It's called Jada's Story, Friday night, 8/7 Central.
I want to hear your podcast with her so we can go like 2 hours long for
Let's go, Carson. All right.
Well, it's going to be so interesting because, how people are going to react, because it's one thing, everyone understands a marriage breaking up or, things being complicated with your family, but then the kind of public ruse is, I know you ask her a lot about that.
Yeah, there'll be a lot more. And we want to mention also that Jada also spoke to People magazine, which is on stands this week.
And she's going to be here live in studio Monday, correct?
Yeah, she'll be here Monday.
Wow.
Got a lot going on.
Wow. All right. Thank you very much. All of that.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.
It's enough to make your head spin. And let's not forget Jaden's bombshell revelation back in 2018 about having a boyfriend in the entertainment world. Woo, this drama just keeps on coming. Also, Jaden Smith revealed his mother, who has talked about taking psychedelics for depression, introduced the family to plant medicine. Jaden Smith says that his mother, Jada Pinkett Smith, introduced his family to psychedelic drugs. According to a report from Entertainment Tonight, Jaden said, "I think it was my mom. That was the first one to make that step for the family," Jaden said of his introduction to the still illegal class of drugs. It was just her for a long time, and then eventually it just trickled and evolved, and everybody found it in their ways.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, sweetie. That's the only thing about this table being round. I can't reach you.
No, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's Red Table Talk's most emotional episode yet. Jada Pinkett Smith and her mom Adrian opening up about their experiences with domestic violence, sharing stories about growing up with Jada's late father, who they say struggled with drugs and alcohol.
It takes practice to have those difficult conversations with kindness and consideration. And it's just something that we have to continue to practice, because if we don't talk about it, we're not going to get to the other side.
And I actually ran for my life.
Wow.
You
ran for your life?
Well, I don't even remember what the argument was about, but he started hitting me and he was in a rage. I was backing out of Daddy's den into the master bedroom, right? And you were still in the den. And I said, oh my God, we left Jada. And I knew that he wasn't gonna hurt you. He left the room to go get you, and I went through the bedroom, out the master bath, and down the steps, and ran across the street to the neighbor.
Got it.
Ran across the street to the neighbor.
Yeah.
For them to call and get me some help.
Jada claims her father was a violent drunk and admits she can be too. It's the reason she says she stopped drinking altogether.
The Red Table is a place of testimony, you know, and a place where we get to share our stories, share our experiences, and get to really talk and spill our truth in a very raw way.
Adrian says she misinterpreted the acts of violence as acts of love, but once she got out of the relationship with Jada's father, she never let a man lay hands on her again.
I've definitely been in relationships that have been emotionally abusive. Yeah, big time.
While Jada said she's never been in a physically abusive relationship herself, she did have one scary story to share.
I know for me, you remember that one incident I had with that one guy that I was dating, where I had to pull a knife out on him. And I remember grabbing a big old knife from the kitchen and hiding in his son's room. And I never forget, he came through the back sliding door like on a creep, like he was gonna like sneak up on me or something like that. You know what? Spike Lee saved me from that one.
Wow.
Because Spike had been calling me about Girl 6. I used Spike as an excuse to get on that plane. We're gonna work this out, you know. I got on that plane and he never saw me again until I was with Will Smith.
But did she introduce her son and the entire family to psychedelics? As for her personal use of psychedelics, Pinkett Smith, 51, has said in the past that she turned to plant medicine to help her combat depression. I struggled with depression for so long, and the thing about the plant medicine is it helps you feel better, but also solves the problems of how you got there in the first place, Pinkett Smith said. The Queen Cleopatra narrator said she had been introduced to plant medicine a decade prior, and the practice knocked depression out of her.
I wanted to take a few minutes.
In the same episode, Pinkett Smith's mother, Adrian Banfield Norris, said she considered taking the plant-based psychedelic ayahuasca to combat this deep, low self-esteem issue that I have. She continued, "It doesn't seem to be anything my parents did or didn't do for me. I feel like I was born that way, but it keeps me from moving forward in parts of my life, and that was the one time I considered doing the ayahuasca."
And I had a complete emotional collapse.
Jada Pinkett Smith revealing she had what she calls an emotional breakdown at 20 on her Facebook Watch series Red Table Talk.
I did not know, and it broke my heart. It broke my heart when I heard her talking about it.
Jada and her mom Adrian opened up about that time to ET just weeks ago. Jada says she battled severe depression for years.
I found out before the Red Table came on, but really just that whole period, I had no idea.
Because I really had to figure out a lot of things for myself, and I didn't want to burden anyone. It was about me.
Looking back, Jada admits she thought success would solve all of her problems, and it took a while to break that mentality.
They put me on Prozac for, it was like 5 milligrams, but once it disrupted my sex drive, I said, look, that's the only thing I got in my life. I was like,
Lord.
that's the one thing at that particular point in time. And that was the thing that got me off of Prozac.
Jada says Prozac was the only thing that could get her up in the morning. It would take her hours to get out of bed, and now she says she's off meds and doesn't get depressed.
Really, that's what this table's about. It's us finding our truth, sometimes discovering our truth, and having the courage to live that truth.
I'm on the pursuit of happiness, and I know everything that shine ain't always gonna be gold.
This week's guest, Kid Cudi, opened up about his own battle with depression, sharing how he self-medicated with cocaine. He's 2 years clean now, and his revelation led to this confession from Jada.
In my depression, using ecstasy, drinking a whole lot, and smoking a bunch of weed, and trying to just find some peace in my mind. I was doing ecstasy, weed, and a bottle of Cavassier. Okay? I knew I was on a course to addiction.
At the end of the episode, Jada reiterated the purpose of the show, to share personal testimonies so other people know they are not alone.
It takes practice to have those difficult conversations with kindness and consideration. And it's just something that we have to continue to practice, because if we don't talk about it, we're not going to get to the other side. We're just going to, things are just going to stay in the cracks and fester. So the more that we can bring these difficult subjects to light and talk about it, the more we can purify these subjects and bring them into something new. And so that's why it's important for me.
There's just this block that I cannot figure out, Banfield Norris said during the conversation, which included grandson Smith. I just can't figure out why I constantly feel that I'm not good enough and how I got there.
No, I think when you have kids and you love them and you're proud of them, you just want to kiss them in the mouth sometimes.
We'll have to get you over that. Next time you're here, I got you in my underwear. I'm going to get you some.
No, I shouldn't have told her.
I'm going to get you some ice.
No, my baby boy, he's never leaving me ever. Ever. No emancipation for the Smith kid.
Das ist peinlich. Komm mal her.
Come on.
Jaden.
Just want him to feel the affection, Like,
and it's true. There is a thing where I know you were like, but when
I want to kiss you and just say Jaden. Just keep a smile. Just keep a smile. Just keep a smile. Thank you, man. That was great, right?
After all these strange parenting acts, Jaden needed drugs, I guess. His teenage experiences have heavily influenced Jaden's life, especially in the industry, and remember his remarks about feeling pressured to act a certain way around his parents. As this drama unfolds, one thing is crystal clear. The reality behind the glitz and glamour of celebrity lives can be far darker than we imagine. It's a lot to process and sparked some serious discussions about parenting and influence in Hollywood. What's your take on all this? Could Jada have inadvertently traumatized her son by introducing him to Diddy at such a young age?